Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Julie Kaukinen. I'm an Access Bars facilitator with Access Consciousness, and I help people feel better, feel lighter, and just more relaxed with the Access Bars technique. So Access Bars is an amazing technique for burnout prevention, stress management. And I truly, truly believe that the Access Bars class is phenomenal mental health 101, kind of what I've just talked about it.
Yeah.
But later in this video, we're going to be discussing the brain mapping that this wonderful, my guest here today did years ago, showing the significant changes in the brain just after one session of Access Bars. So I personally have been doing 44 days of Access Bars in a row, and I've had profound change in my awareness, my body, my business, how I react, how I think, my connection with the entire universe. And probably after 20 days of doing bars in a row, I got so bored with my brain changing. I got so bored and I needed way more mental stimulation, and then started researching like brain videos. And then I came across Dr. Fannin's work here, and I'm so honored today to be here with you, Dr. Fannin. So you're the founder of a clinic, Thought Genius, in Arizona. You've worked in neuroscience field researching and training the brain for over 28 years. You're an international speaker, authority, author in the field of optimal brain performance and cutting-edge neuroscience research. You've been in the movie PGS Intuition, which I saw a few nights ago, which was awesome. And you've also published 3 books, so volume 1 and 2 of Commanding the Power of Thought, and then also the latest one, Under the Influence. And we were just talking before we got on of under the influence of the field around us. You've traveled around the world doing brain maps on 4,000 people, as well as consults with them. And the basis of your work is with ADD, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and many other conditions. So, and you've also hosted a weekly popular radio show, which I love the title of Help, My Thoughts Are Holding Me Hostage. So welcome, Dr. Fannin. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm just like so excited.
Oh, Julie, thank you so much for having me on. And I know we're going to have a really interesting discussion here, so I'm really excited about this. Even though I've done lots and lots and lots of interviews and stuff, all you have to do is Google me out there, and people can find what's out there on me. But I'm really excited about this because it kind of takes me back to where a lot of this journey started with Access Consciousness. And it's really funny that when I was looking into that research, and I was telling you the story beforehand, that a friend of mine was, we were at some hotel doing some sort of event, and it was, they were talking to me about, well, you have to meet Gary and you have to meet Dane. It's like, yeah, people are always introducing me to somebody. It's just like, at that moment, they were just a couple of other guys. No, she says, no, you actually need to meet these people. This is really, really important. It's like, okay, I will do that, no problem. And then when I met them and we started talking about a bunch of this stuff and learning what the bars actually was, because at that time, I didn't even know what the bars were. But as I began to research that and talk with them and understand how powerful, how absolutely powerful the bars are in getting the energy to flow, and why it gets stuck, and things that at that time I did not know that it was going to take me down this very interesting odyssey, if you will, this sojourn into a world that I had no idea even existed. But today it is one of the great passions of my life, and it really all started with the Access Consciousness and actually having the bars performed on me, because when we were taping the video on all of that stuff, I hadn't even had a session. I really didn't know what to expect. But wow, that's not unusual in my life. I've had a lot of experiences working with people and traveling around the world and whatnot. And I've never been one to be afraid to kind of jump into something and just explore what is there. And so that opened my eyes to a lot of different things. So well, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Well, no, thank you so much. And like, can you briefly describe your first like bar session? Like, I know you said in a video how you have a bunch of, there was some pictures taken of you and you just had like a huge grin on your face.
Yeah.
Um, but can you describe what you got from your first session?
Yeah, well, it really was very interesting because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what was going to happen. So they had these kind of tilt chairs and that you would lay down in, and I'm laying there thinking, oh, this is kind of cool. And so then they start working on me and getting the energy, but I could feel the energy. And it's like, what is happening here? What's going on? And I could feel that energy and flowing, and it was coming down this way, and then it was going around this way, and just. But all of a sudden, I got this incredible, I guess, lucidity is about the best word I could say. Everything became very clear, you know, and it was like this field that was around my head and around my body. And at the time, I did not really understand what the morphogenetic field was, but I since now can give you lots of examples of what that was. But at that moment in time, I did not know that that's what was actually happening, and how that field is formed, and why is it important, and all of the different things we can do with that field. But
Wow.
yeah, I go back and I look at those pictures, and you're right. I do have a big smile on my face because it was extremely pleasant. I loved it.
Wow. Wow. Well, yeah, that's just amazing. Well, and I know in one of the videos that I heard you talking about is that you, like most people with Gary Douglas's books, you can't put them down. And I know I heard you say actually that you have a few copies of actually Dr. Dane Heer's book, The Being You Changing the World, and you actually gave it to your staff members.
I did, yeah.
Like
Back,
that,
back in
wow.
the days when I had a staff, yeah. And we were reading all of that stuff. It was very exciting because beginning to explore and understand that world that they knew a lot about and where it was going. And so, and I haven't talked to them for many, many years. So,
Well, cool. Well, and I wonder what this will instigate. So that's awesome because like I said,
we can all get together and,
yeah,
and
well,
a reunion conversation or something like that.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, and I guess with the like the bars study, there's so many different places I want to go. But it's like, can you briefly describe constructive interference and how we actually create our own reality?
Sure thing. So we'll kind of start with energy. And we know that with energy, it all has a frequency, so it's vibrating. If you hold that vibration or that thought for 16 to 17 seconds, we know that other energy that is vibrating like that will be attracted to it. Now, when that energy comes together, it is beginning to amass that energy or the coherence of that energy. And so if you hold that up to 68 seconds, now it is changing from affecting the energy matter to affecting particle matter. And if people want to know a little bit more about that, you can go on YouTube and look up the slit or the double slit experiment and kind of understand how that energy functions. Very, very interesting phenomena.